Hello, Internet, and welcome to Saturday night's Mistborn. Thanks for joining us on this lovely Saturday afternoon. We are here to play the Mistborn RPG based on the novels by Brandon Sanderson. Welcome. Before we get into our game and start talking about what's going on in this world, in this story that we're telling, I'm going to plug some of the other things that we've got going on the channel. In case you're interested, you're tuning in for the first time, you want to know where else you can watch us do things. After today, our next stream will be tomorrow at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. We'll be playing a campaign called Thursday's Children, which Savannah runs. We're playing a system called Wesen, and it's potentially our finale episode of this season. And it's looking like it's going to be a lot of fun. So come hang out with us for that sort of paranormal, investigative, monster hunting stuff in Scandinavia. So come join us for that. The rest of our schedule this week should be as it is listed below on our schedule page here on Twitch. If you're watching us live, if you're watching us at some point on YouTube, head over our Twitch page. You can see whatever we're doing right now. I'll go ahead and promote too, because we have the brand new premiere of our newest show, The Forgotten, which Savannah is also running a D&D campaign with the cast of Neon Souls, where we're going to be playing a bunch of characters that we haven't gotten a chance to really play much of before, characters we've already had in other D&D campaigns that we never got to fully realize, and wanted to kind of throw them into a module and play around with them for a bit. So that'll be at 8 o'clock Eastern Time on Monday. Otherwise, we'll have streams on Tuesday with Tabletop Tuesdays, Thursdays with Elegant Magics, and then Fridays for Neon Souls, and then back here next Saturday for Saturday Night Star Power. We'll talk about all of those here in a bit, especially as people are introducing themselves and talking about the shows that they're on, which we'll go ahead and do right now. I'll let my lovely players here introduce themselves, talk about who they are playing here tonight, what else they do on and off this channel, and any other fun facts about themselves they want to give. Starting with Savannah.
Hello, I'm Savvy. I'm at Savvy Seaworth on the internets, mostly on Twitter, where you can find my streaming schedule pinned to the top of my page. I am here Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, either playing in games or running them. Like Val mentioned, I run our Sunday game. I think we're gonna be wrapping up with Basin this week, and then the week after getting. I guess I can say what we're doing. I haven't said what we're doing yet. This seems as good a time as any. The Slang 101 crew is coming back on Sundays. Same cast, but we're going back to Georgia after this, to Cedar Grove for Slang 201, back to school. So some fun, familiar faces will be there in the coming weeks. So check it out. As usual, it's going to be on Sundays at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And then on Mondays, I'm going to be running Dungeons and Dragons at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. It's going to be a ride, for sure. If you have not experienced me running Dungeons and Dragons, buckle up. It's gonna be fun. And yeah, otherwise, I'm here playing in games. On Sunday nights, I'm also on twitch.tv/lbhackemup playing masks as a big cat girl with big bully energy. But yeah, today I am playing Violette Laurent, who is a Mistborn.
Alex.
Hello, I'm Alex. OMG, it's some guy on the internet. I'm mostly here Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Mistborn Saturdays. Tuesdays for Tabletop Tuesdays. This next Tuesday, we'll be doing masks, and we're going to have some minor cast variants here. Not a cast change, but yeah, so should tune in for that. We should also have some art for the characters, so you'll want to check that out as well. And also, like Savannah. You can find me Sunday evenings at twitch.tv/lphackmup playing in the same game. Now I'm playing in a different game at the same time on the same channel. It's real confusing. No, but I'm a precious little disaster magic boy in that game. But in tonight's game, I'm playing Hadzel, a Terraceman Keeper.
RJ.
Hey everybody, it's me, RJ. You can catch me at RJustice282 on Twitter and Twitch, where I tweet about the nerdy things in my life and sometimes stream with my friends. I'm all over the internet, mostly Mondays over the Indoor Adventures channel, Thursdays here at GGK for Elegant Magics, Saturdays here alternatively for both Mistborn and Star Power, Sundays in the mornings for over at the Hype Goblins for another D&D campaign. And hey, guess what? Speaking of LB, I'm guesting tomorrow. But that's me. I'm playing ZaKeer, who is a Conjure Spy.
And Morgan.
Hi, I'm Morgan. I play Mouse in this game, who is a misting Tin Eye, and this is the only game I'm currently in, so enjoy.
And I am Val at the Kraken's Crown on Twitter and Twitch. You can find me here Thursdays through Mondays now, playing and running games. Like I mentioned previously, I run Alting games right here, right now, on Saturdays. Every other week from this game, running a game called Saturday Night Star Power, where we play Fate in a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure inspired universe. So come hang out with us same time, same place next week for that. And then every Friday, I run a game called Neon Souls, where we are also playing Fate, but in an entirely different setting. We are in our season 3, where we have gone to space because we haven't run out of ideas yet, but I needed a change of pace. So we are currently floating around, doing some space pirate adventures. Things already got kind of weird at the end of our first session last night. So definitely come tune in for that at 9:30 Eastern Time. Every Friday, right here. But that's not what we're doing tonight. Tonight we're going to be continuing our Mistborn shenanigans. Are y'all ready to get started? Okie dokie, artichoke. Let's get going. Previously on Saturday night's Mistborn, your crew was attending a ball at the Venture Keep. You were the premier event of the ball season here in Luthadel. Everyone who is anyone was here and was there and rubbing elbows, making illicit dealings, and dancing mostly. You had a very specific purpose in attending this ball: to gain information on your competition, on your adversaries, specifically the House Chevalier and Alariel, as well as sort of continuing or making good on a deal of some sort to steal something from House Laurent and turn it over to some sort of broker or patron that would be attending this party. We began last time with Mouse, who had just finished copying a ledger in Lady Josephine Venture's office as part of a deal that she had made with a fellow ska contact or informant named Twist. You had just finished this transcription when people began to approach, and you overheard a secret conversation between Lady Josephine and Lord Armel Elariel, the head of House Elariel, in which Lord Elariel propositioned a deal, an alliance between Venture and Elariel to take down House Hastings. It didn't seem like the deal was solidified during the conversation that you had, or that they had, that you were listening in on. as Lady Josephine said that she would need further assurances, House or Lord Armel only offering some sort of ephemeral ties to the church. While all that was going on, ZaKeer made the drop of the quote unquote drop of the stolen items for House Laurent, and met up with the patron for this contract. One lady, Julia Erikel, who seemed very put off by the fact that the goods that she had paid you for were not acquired. However, through some smooth talking on the side of ZaKeer, you were able to convince her that you were still looking through the house and had positioned yourself well within their ranks to hopefully find whatever it was that, or the hidden stash of riches and ATM that Lady Erikel was looking for. However, she did let it slip during the conversation that the source for her job here was a rumor that the House Laurent had a rather sizable stash of ATM, and this rumor seemed to have been started by none other than Lord Renaud Laurent, Violette's uncle. While all this illicit dealings and sneaking and conversations were going on, Violette had a lovely dance with Lord Oliver Venture, drawing the attention and the ire of several partygoers at the Venture Ball. She learned a rumor that Lady Renee Chevalier was very interested in the hand of Lord Oliver Venture, though he did not seem to reciprocate this interest. Hadzel had a meeting with an administrator, the administrator of the Venture House, however, used a lull in waiting for the administrator to arrive to sneak into their office, the office of Lord Salazar Dwin, where he was able to sort of transcribe into his copper mines a maintenance record for the Venture vaults hidden beneath House Venture, and presumably the source of, or the storage receptacle of their prolific ATM supply. You also found a couple of contracts included of the pertaining to the Venture's northern canal routes and the guards that they were employing to maintain these routes. And finally, one of our biggest events of the evening, Violette met with Obligator Cedric, who you had dueled with previously and had been snooping around the ball as well. And you had a very interesting conversation. Cedric leveraging the secret of the terrace ferrochemist that was within your ranks to maintain his own anonymity as a Mistborn, and kind of leveraging that on you for some influence. He made some vague comments about his disdain for the court and his eagerness to see things change, though he did not specify exactly what those were, and requested that you meet again so you could speak in the future about some of his plans and potentially some sort of alliance between the two of you. The party ended. You all returned via carriage to House Laurent and shared some of the information that you had gathered that evening. Some of you decided to be a bit cagey with what you decided to tell the others. And as you returned, finally rested in the early hours of the morning, needing to recover from the night's events, we are going to pick up sort of loosely there. We're entering a long breather here where y'all will have a chance to recover anything that you've spent, to restore anything that you have expended during the events of the ball. It also gives you all a chance to improve, to grow as characters, spending your experience, your advancements to do so. Before we kind of get into the heist planning, which is what we're going to be doing, I assume, most of today, as y'all plan to rob the ventures of their ATM and assorted other riches, I want to know what y'all decide to take for your improvements, because y'all had a pretty decent amount of points. So I'm just going to go down my list here of everyone on my Zoom window. Violette, what did you take for your advancements?
So I upped 2 of my medals. Scrolling down. 2 of my medal ratings. So as an Alamancer, as a Mistborn, I have access to all medals, and my rating starts at 4, and then I can take the discrete metals and up my powers in them. So I did brass and zinc, because those are the ones I've been using the most. So those are both of the emotion ones. So zinc is riding and brass is soothing. So I upped both of those, so I have a rating of 5 in each, to go along with the stunt that I took last time.
Ooh, what stunt?
I think we talked about it.
Was that the one? Oh, that was the one you took before you're talking about?
Yeah. But so I upped the medals to go along with the stunt, because it's a zinc-based stunt.
Oh, okay. Right. Cool. So Violette, maybe over the course of the party and kind of utilizing some of the medals recently for the sake of kind of manipulating your way through high society, you have gained a little more competency in the finer uses of emotional allomancy.
I think is discovering that if we keep doing stuff like this, those are probably going to be very useful in getting people to do what she wants.
Cool. So who else? Hadzel.
I can gaslight people better. How's that?
Slow your roll, Violette.
Yeah. So as a keeper, I improved one of my medals. I increased my pewter so I can become even stronger in a pinch, and I also increased Hadzel's influence. Now that people are paying more attention to House Laurent, might need to start being able to make use of the house's name and position in getting things done.
Fair. Yeah. I think kind of regaining your station, that seems to follow the plot here fairly well. Awesome. Yeah, I like that. And then I'm imagining for your pewter, kind of increasing, maybe doing a bit of calisthenics in the morning, a little bit of cardio, increasing your natural strength.
Just had the thought of each level of rating with pewter increases the number of abs that are visible. Gotta keep it at an even number, else it's disturbing.
You get it to a 10 and you're just like all abs. Okay, perfect. Mouse, what did you take?
I also upped my rating. Though as a misting, I've got a little bit one up on the Mistborn. So my rating is now 6.
Nice.
Yeah, which means I'm all that much closer to maybe becoming a savant. We'll see if we get there.
Did you take anything else or just that?
That was it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it for now.
And I was looking at your name, RJ, and getting very confused.
I am also curious about this.
ZaKeer, what did you take?
There, I changed it back. for everyone's benefit. I
Thanks.
picked up a stunt and a standing.
Okay.
The stunt I picked up is regeneration. You may quickly close wounds on your body so long as you're not incapacitated at 0 health. You may reduce your willpower by any amount, minimum 1, to increase your health by the same amount.
Oh,
So I
Nice.
have like 15 willpower now, so I'm tanky as all get out.
damn, son.
That's pretty good.
I also increased my spirit standing, so now I'm at a 6, and I get to challenge fate, which is an actual
boy.
thing in the book.
Yeah. We talked a little bit before the stream about the standings and being able to utilize those. Spirit is a little weird. It's kind of your kind of connection to the metaphysical. And yeah, there is one specifically. Was it making a last-ditch effort is the one you need 6 or more fate dice or spirit dice to be able to use. So you can spend 1 spirit to retry any roll. That's pretty good.
I mostly kind of want to flavor it as ZaKeer is lucky by nature. So it's just kind of leaning into, we're just going to catch some lucky breaks, hopefully. Because there are some things I want to do during this long breather that might hedge our bets in our favor for the heist coming up.
Yes, and we will go ahead and get to that. The other thing I'll mention for all of you Mistborn RPG experts out there, we are tweaking the rules just slightly. Technically, under a long breather, you can only make 1 improvement. After some conversing about that before the stream, we decided to change that so that they could make multiple improvements, still needing to spend the advancements to do so each time, as long as you're not improving the same thing more than once. That gives them a little more freedom to spend points, and because there's a maximum you can hold on to of 20. So if you're not able to, if you're only spending 2, then there's a chance that you might cap out and lose out on some of your advancements later on. So awesome. Well, let's go ahead and jump into our breather then, and figure out what y'all want to get up to. So there are, with the breathers, unless you are like wounded trying to recover from a burden, or are like significantly impeded to the point where all you can do is rest during a breather, you can still take actions, do things during this period of time. I was thinking we're probably looking at about a week of recovery from as we like plan and get ready for the ball. I'm gonna let y'all do things like purchase items if you want to use your resources to purchase any supplies. Obviously, the 4 of you can sit down and plan and figure out exactly what you want to do as far as this heist is concerned, because I think that's probably what we need to do first, is come up with some sort of plan of action. So let's set that scene first. I'm thinking about, we've been doing a lot of planning in the kitchens and like indoors and like cramped spaces, and I was actually thinking that maybe today is a nice day. The ash mounts are a little more inactive. There's less of an ashfall throughout the city. Maybe it's a little more pleasant outside, as pleasant as things get in Luthadel. So the 4 of you are actually on Keep Laurent's sort of like veranda in the central courtyard. I was imagining the whole building kind of has like a U-shaped structure, and there's this like courtyard at the center of it, overlooking a bit of like the grounds up to the wall that surrounds the keep. So it's fairly private and secluded, as long as there are no guards nearby, and you can dismiss the serving staff as you need. But outside, sitting in kind of the open air, getting a little bit of fresh air, and having a chance to plan, a little bit of a lunch spread in front of you, plenty of bay wraps for ZaKeer, because that's all ZaKeer apparently eats besides people, and and then a more diverse spread of food and wine for the rest of you.
Sorry, I just liked how you said a diverse spread of food and wine for the rest of us, as if bay wraps aren't food.
They are sub-food.
I couldn't. I had to say that out loud. I couldn't get over that one. It made me laugh.
Well, I begin to wonder why it is ZaKeer likes bay wraps so much, and maybe it's because bay wraps taste like people.
Maybe
Oh,
it's like
dear.
a Soylent Green situation.
Oh, I have a reasoning for it.
Sweeney
Okay.
got stuff going on, but all right.
If anyone asks, I'll say it.
I'm also not sure why my reference point was not Sweeney Todd, a reasonable thing that Morgan has said, and instead Soylent Green.
I mean,
That's how Green people.
A timely cultural reference that I'm sure, especially our younger viewers, will understand.
I mean, neither one of them are timely cultural references, let's just be honest.
These fools know who Sweeney Todd is, though.
You mean theater nerd references.
yeah, I was gonna say
They
Drama
made a
Kids are
movie
valid.
with Johnny Depp and Helena Bonham Carter. These assholes know who Sweeney Todd is.
Oh, is that the one where they're like in Alice in Wonderland, or is that the
Yeah.
one where like another Helena Bonham Carter / Johnny Depp movie, Corpse Bride?
It's the other
No,
one.
it's the one where they're in the candy factory for most of it. I don't think Helena Bonham Carter's in that one, but she could be.
She is. She's the mom.
Oh my god, she is.
Never to be separated. These
Never
two.
saw it.
So the planning,
Anyway,
the heist planning.
ZaKeer double fisting bay wraps.
Chat's not even listening to us. They're fighting amongst themselves.
Yes, fight for my pleasure.
as
Steel
they
Steel
should.
Inquisitor shows up.
Ah, no!
Bay wrap?
Just chuck it at him.
So I think we should, at some point, contact some form of burglary team or another. I don't think assaulting a venture cargo vessel is, by ourselves, at the very least, is a good idea. How?
You are quite right, given the numbers of troops that House Venture is fielding to protect their shipment. It would, despite the powers we have at our disposal here, that would be a bit much for even us. So we should begin putting out feelers for potential crews, because as we attempted with trying to recruit Sting previously, it is not a sure thing to secure a thieving crew's services.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. In general, they tend to be a little distrustful of folks like you. Sorry, Violette.
What if, hear me out here, we use the information broker side of things? Say there's a remarkable haul on some of those venture cargo ships and get multiple crews on it.
And just make sure we get a cut of it somehow.
If I were to use my abilities, present myself as a different clientele member, we could potentially get a cut of all of them. We're just going to have to make sure that they don't fight once they're on the barge. Or do cause as much chaos as possible. Maybe sink an ATM supply into the river and go in and collect it later. Just some options.
Yeah, I guess it's how in the know we tell everybody, because as soon as people catch wind that there's a lot of ATM there, I'm sure there's going to be some backstabbery.
I suppose part of the question, my assumption has been that we want this ATM for ourselves. We are not seeking to sabotage House Ventures so thoroughly as simply to deprive them of their funds. So they are not our primary target here. We want those funds for ourselves, yes?
Yeah, we kind of need it.
I suppose to start things off, it would help us to try and scout out what their canal schedule is. Doesn't do us much good to have men to send against it if we don't know where the barge is when.
Yeah, I mean, I can go scope it out for a couple days. I'll keep track and figure out who's coming and going. Because it sounded like these were sort of regular-ish shipments.
I think that might be a question for the narrator. Was the because I found that document saying more guards. Did it seem like that was just going to be an ongoing thing, or there was one specific shipment that we're like, hey, we need guards for?
Yeah, because there's also like the stuff that I found in like the ledger that seemed like there was a lot passing through, but it might not only be through the canal.
Yeah, the increased guard presence is an ongoing thing. It looks like it's been going, at least from the ledger that you can recall in your copper mind, and I don't remember if you probably didn't have enough time to memorize everything in the book, but at least some of the more recent pages on it, it did seem like it was something that's been going on for a while. That they have been hiring a fair number of like soldiers, mercenary crews, things like that. Have either been like I think it's been a mix of hiring from like the garrison, paying for escort fees for guards to assist with their shipments, but you can see they have interspersed to like cut costs some like additional like mercenary companies that are present within or stationed in and around Luthadel to sort of supplement this this protection.
So they've been hiring quite a bit lately, is what we're getting at, yes? Especially mercenaries and things. I mean, how much loyalty can they really expect? Is there a possibility of buying off some of the gods?
Theoretically, but House Venture is the richest noble house in Luthadel, and so beating their price may prove to be a difficult proposition.
Yeah, especially if they've got whole shipments of adium coming in.
Do we know how much they actually paid these people?
That have been in the
Yeah, I
ledger.
think that would have
Ledger.
definitely been in the ledger.
I
that they're
would
spending.
like to. How much are they actually paying these people, like an exorbitant amount, or?
Yes.
Okay. I want to
More than you would expect for a canal route.
know if they're actually paying them a lot, or if it's like a corporation situation.
I think
where
that's
they're not
what,
paying them very well, and I can be like, ahem.
No, that's what I think probably clued Hadzel in the first place,
Okay.
is that these guards were very well paid, and you don't know necessarily. I mean, I would say offhand, unless someone wants to make a roll or do some research and stuff into it, whether they're hiring. This is what I'll say: the ones that they're hiring from the garrison, that's more of like a numbers game, but the garrison is employed, like that is a military force, a lot more structure, less chance of somebody like turning on you. That is kept by the Lord Ruler and employed by the houses. So essentially, they're like renting out the garrison. To supplement that, they are paying very highly paid mercenaries that are coming in as well. You don't know if they're either these mercenary companies, like that's their standard rate and they're just like very expensive mercenaries, or they are paying them above and beyond what they would normally be paid. Either way, they're paying them
That's
a
a
lot.
lot. Okay.
Another suggestion, we could potentially hire a thieving crew, disguise ourselves as mercenaries, and get hired on as guards.
Now this I like very much.
And just pretend to guard it and then snacks them.
I would think that there would be some form of choke point during the travel of the canal. Have half the crew on as guards, the other half ready and waiting.
Yeah. I thought that could work.
Just need a big enough
I
crew.
don't know. We'd all have to learn a little bit about fighting, or at least look the part.
It's not hard to look the part.
I do think it would be rather difficult for me as a terraceman to pretend to be a mercenary.
Yeah, that's mostly what I was worried about.
Well, we could split up if we're splitting the crew. I assume we want some of us with each group. Yes?
Yeah.
Hadzel could be in charge of the other half.
Indeed.
And I'm sure having one of us in charge of them would put a lot of us at ease.
If anything, Lady Mouse, we could use your eyes up with that group as well.
So sounds like we're gonna need some sort of inn.
Let me see what I can work
Mercenaries.
up.
All right. And I could look around, kind of figure out. Like I said, I could watch it, the canal for a few days, and see if there is sort of a pinch point, like you were saying.
It can't be that difficult for us to find the thieving crew to hire, right?
We'll just have to pay them enough to make them willing to go up against one of the great houses.
Oh, I'm sure they're gonna. There's people who've got like personal skin in the game. I'm sure we can find someone.
Fortunately, paying people is a skill of mine.
That does help.
I guess we'll work on that then.
Right. Well, if you need me throughout the week, I'll be in my room at night, but for now, I'll take a walk about town.
Alright.
Which suit should I wear today? And he takes the tray of bay wraps with him as he leaves.
Don't get Ash on that
Kinda.
venture, finally.
Oh, that's not the type of suit I was talking about.
Oh. He means bones. And I assume
yeah.
the things that go on top of them.
Yes, thank you for the clarification, mistress.
It was more for me than for you. I assume I was the last one to figure out what he meant. I usually am.
Can he do it without skin?
Why would you want to?
I don't know.
Would that be painful, do you think?
Probably.
Well, like, because I know for me to not have skin would be very bad. But
I believe it would depend on whether or not he placed the nerve receptors in all the correct locations.
Nerve receptors. What are you talking about?
Medical knowledge. This could turn into a lecture, or you can just.
I feel like I've heard this one before. Those are
It is
the things that when things touch them, they
Eyes
go,
glaze
"Ow!"
over.
Yes. Got it.
The ouchie parts.
Ouch.
I'm basically a scientist.
That's how it works.
So let me understand the plan as it has formed right now. So
Or
your
part
plan-
one of the plan.
part one of the plan is to scout out thieving crews, hire a couple to pose as a mercenary, like some to pose as a mercenary crew, others to actually just plan the heisting of the barge,
At a choke
then
point down
to-
the river, yeah.
and then to kind of have like a pincer attack where you have people that are masquerading at like kind of mixed in as guards amongst the existing guard,
Mhm.
and during the attack being able to kind of swarm from both sides.
Right now,
Yeah.
plan is get it in with the mercenaries that are already guarding the ship.
Mhm.
Get some thieving crews. Mouse do recon. If I'm understanding what we just talked about correctly.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like those
So-
are where my skills are utilized best.
So actually getting some thieving crews hired on to the mercenary companies that are already guarding the barge and getting them on those routes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. I want to make sure that
But
was
I'm
what
gonna
you were doing
pay
and
them.
not
I think.
the thieving crews.
See, there's a couple ways we could do that part.
Because what I was
Uh-huh.
trying to understand is that I had a little bit of a confusion of whether or not y'all were planning to like create your own fake mercenary company to get hired, or you were just going to
Oh.
like
Well-
implant yourself.
I
within the
wanted to
existing
start
one.
some rumors that there's a new mercenary company in Luthadel.
Okay.
Okay.
That rumor being about
So-
us.
Yes.
Then
Got it.
me and
Okay.
Hadzel are gonna get some thieving crews and pay them. We're gonna be like, this is who you're gonna tell people you are for this job. Don't ask questions. Here's money.
You will in fact be getting double paid because you also get the venture salary.
That's how we're gonna pitch it.
Okay.
Is I'm gonna pay you to pretend to be these mercenaries. We're gonna get you in on this boat. Keep your mouths shut, and there's more money where that came from.
And so at some point, presumably, we tell them, oh, by the way, we're robbing the barge. Don't. like,
Yes.
other people are going to be robbing the barge. Don't get in the way. Like, don't stop them.
Yeah, part of your job is to not.
So is
Stop
the idea
them.
here to then, if you're the people guarding the barge, then you're faking a robbery on the barge?
I don't imagine we'll be able to get enough
Oh,
people
jeez.
to entirely guard the barge. So we're just
Okay.
inserting some guards to make the
Yeah.
the bandits' job easier.
Yeah.
Okay.
To
That's a
sort of
little
keep
complicated.
the real
say
guards
it.
at bay.
I got it. Okay.
Here's what we do. We pretend to be a repair company that's repairing the barge.
We'll stick explosives
Oh.
underneath the barge, and then when they get to the pass,
Just
blow it up.
it up, but then we have the other half of the crew waiting because we don't want to if people
In
know
scuba gear underneath the barge.
so they can immediately go and retrieve
And then
what was
there's
on
a
it.
boat chase.
And then we get on the
Is this the Fast
spaceship.
and the Furious?
No, this is an Italian job.
This is Italian job.
Okay,
I was
it's been
making
too
it-
long.
I was doing the Neon Souls because we were making fun of
Oh.
ourselves
Yeah,
because we
well, the
only have
Neon
one
Souls
plan
came-
in Neon Souls. But that came
I
Wow.
think
out.
the Neon Souls
Italian job.
initially came from the Italian job and has been the basis for
So
every
it could be a
Every
little
heist
bit
heist ever.
done.
It's the
of,
perfect heist. So
like an Ocean's 12, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Nothing's stronger than family. ZaKeer, where'd you get a shotgun?
suddenly cars.
But yeah, so I think the planting rumors, getting an in with the guards, right? We're gonna hire a thieving crew. Say, you're gonna tell everybody you're this mercenary company. Get on this boat. More of our crew is gonna rob it. Make sure the guards don't get in the way. Hit the choke point. Rob the boat. Half of the guards are actually on our side.
Yeah. Or
Get
it's like
on.
as many as we can get. Yeah.
Get on the spaceship and escape.
Spaceship?
Did I miss
I was
anything?
going to say there is no Scadrial space program yet, but elsewhere in the Cosmere.
Elsewhere. The nerd. Okay. I'm like wondering, like, never mind. Sorry. I think this plan works, or we'll see.
Okay.
But we're gonna
We'll
have
see. So
we're gonna
there's
have
gonna-
Mouse do the recon because we trust her and don't want to do it ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's some setup here. So the initial steps is Mouse is gonna do, so I can like plan this out. We can go through this job and see how the planning stages work. Is that Mouse is gonna do some recon over at like along the canal routes, probably along like the docks that like come into Luthadel. Getting an idea of when these shipments are coming in, numbers, all that sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. While Mouse is doing that, because that's probably going to take about like a week or so to like get a full idea of this. I mean, I will say, in reality, this entire plan is probably going to take like, probably talking about a month to really get things like situated. Because not only are you going to have to like hire crews, you're going to have to get them outfitted as mercenaries, trained to pose as mercenaries, set up these rumors, get hired, actually get on the barges.
So there's a lot of work to just get a whole bunch of money.
There's a lot of steps here. I think it's a good plan. But I want to make sure that that we have this like pieced out.
I'm willing to spend that much time on it because I think it's not just for like a bunch of money and resources. It's also kind of a power play.
Mm-hmm.
So House Venture is having this moment of like, oh shit. Not invincible. Whoops.
I mean, the goal of this plan is for y'all to get the ATM to then finance your future plans against House Chevalier.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stepping stone.
Dude. Yeah. So I want to sit down and we can do this out of character and say that y'all are going through this in character. So a Steel Inquisitor shows up. So what I want to do, there's this cool the cool section at the beginning of the first book is when they're sitting down and they kind of like begin to like outline the plan, the job and stuff they're doing. I kind of want to do a section like that. We don't have to do it in character, but I do want to have our little like Ocean's 11 planning moment here. So so
the flashback.
Yeah, sure.
Present day
flashback
in Art Nouveau.
So step one is going to be scouting the canal schedule, the barge schedule. All right. Step two.
Profit.
Okay, profit. There we go. That's all.
Two, find a thieving crew and outfit them as mercenaries.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna probably split those into two steps.
Okay.
So find thieving crew to employ.
Yes.
And this is the first thieving crew. Are they thieving crew alpha? What numbering system do we want to use?
Well, so are you guys looking for a big
I like
crew
alpha,
and,
that's fun.
and split it and trying to like split it, half are doing one thing, half doing another, or actually getting two like rival thieving crews?
I think finding a very big crew would work better than having two rival crews, because then there'd be less backstabbing.
Yeah.
But the drama would be funny.
I was for a big enough crew that we can pass them off as like a mercenary company and not like four guys that, you know, three guys in a trench coat.
Oh, yeah, I'll throw out a couple options here, because like in the meta of the game, like I think this is stuff y'all would know. Is like you can either find an established thieving crew. It's gonna be faster, but it's gonna be a little more expensive though, probably, because they are established. They have a hierarchy. They do jobs, so they're gonna have like expected rates. Mm-hmm. You could also try to find your own people to hire to sort of create your own crew or your own group specific to this job. That's probably gonna be cheaper, but it's probably gonna take longer. to get all the people that you need.
But we could also potentially use them again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
ZaKeer can always go to the tailor and ask for recommendations.
I kind of like the idea of picking like individuals or like smaller groups and putting them together into one group, because I'm under the impression that noble houses hire thieving crews regularly, and if we pick
We'll
some
have
that
a-
are like well established, we might run into Jeremy, is that you?
How are the kids?
I
Um,
think it might take longer for less money and also less possibility of them being recognized.
'Cause,
I agree.
yeah, last episode, didn't we establish the tailoring shop is also a Contra?
Oh, I
Yeah.
forgot
Unless-
about that.
Yeah. It's funny because she'll be
okay.
outfitting us.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
So
Get outta
I
here.
have a question. Does anyone in this crew have 6 or more resources?
Resources?
I have
Uh-huh.
6
Probably
spirit.
not. Let's see
No.
resources.
See
No.
who has the most, so we can start figuring out. This might be
I have
slightly
two.
metagamey, but to figure out who can do that, because you need 6 resources to hire like a sizable number of people.
I have 4.
Does your sorry, this is like a side question. I have on my note that I've spent an influence. Does that reset at a long rest?
Yeah, during your breather,
Okay.
your
Or breather or whatever?
standings reset.
Okay. All right, let me fix that then. How do I do that with the? Oh, there you go.
If
The
we
reason why I was
pool our
asking
resources together.
is there is actually an like assembling forces like check in the game to
Oh.
where like you have to have 6 or more resources to be able to use that mechanic as part of the game. I'm not going to say that y'all aren't going to be able to form a crew. I'm just going to say it's going to probably be smaller, because for assembling forces, that's like anywhere between 20 to 10,000 soldiers.
Oh shit.
So I just wanted to check that up front, because that would have been an easier way to do this, because you could have just
build an army.
yeah. You could hire the lowest difficulty is a 1 is 20 soldiers, a 3 is 500 soldiers, and then a 5 is 10,000 soldiers. So
What
yeah,
the fuck?
Where are all these people
Wow.
coming from?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't have that
all right, but
many.
we can't do that yet. Maybe someday.
Yeah, maybe someday.
Right?
And that also makes sense in the
Yes.
fiction, because y'all don't have enough money for the ATM
Yeah.
and stuff right now, so you don't really have enough to get a fucking army.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So
Not yet.
So let's see. So employing a thieving crew also falls under resources. It's a going to be a difficulty 3 roll to build a thieving, to employ a thieving crew. But I will let y'all. We can reduce that difficulty depending on the level of skill that you want them to have. If we're doing this where y'all are finding a bunch of people and you're going to spend some time training them, we can probably drop that to a 2. So I just wanted to talk about that front. All right, so let's go back to our steps though before we get too much into that. So step 1, securing the bard schedule. Step 2, employing a thieving crew for the job. Step 3 is going to be outfitting and training the crew. Step 4, I guess that would be we're talking about the spreading the rumors. So that will fall under we'll put that as one thing, which will be securing a contract with House Hastings or House Venture. And then I guess step 5 then would be, or the final step would be planning the robbery specifically. So, is there anything that I missed or that y'all want to add to this plan?
I guess we're just saying that, step 5 plan, the actual robbery, will then be its own plan with different
Multi-step
steps.
plan, probably.
Yeah, that'll probably and that'll probably be less complicated as far as all right, we're gonna pick, this is the location, this is the time, and actually going to execute. I'll put planning and executing the robbery. That's a little less involved. So, I think with this entire plan, I think probably a month if everything goes well. If there are some hiccups or we have some potential roadblocks along the way, it could end up being longer. Sound good to y'all?
Because it's not, we don't have like a specific timeline for anything.
No.
Anyways, right at this moment, we don't have any.
No, you guys aren't on a deadline for anything.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's sort of the thing. We're not going to play it out day by day, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But like with the books and stuff, with the planning, I mean, it takes like a year for them to do the whole job in the first book.
Yeah,
So
true.
it's, working on like larger timetables. I just didn't want to say, yeah, y'all get all this together in like 3 days, because that doesn't seem realistic to me.
Yeah, no, totally makes sense.
And somebody might tell me like a month isn't long enough to train these people. I don't care. We're going with a month because that sounded cool to me.
Yeah. So I guess one question then, less about the plan itself, but more just about the time frame, is I assume we are still going to be wanting to have at least Violette attending balls in the meantime and doing that aspect of information gathering.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and that's sort of what we're gonna do here. So this first week that we have is like our breather is not included in this month. This is the planning section. Y'all are coming up with this idea, spending some time going around and kind of bouncing ideas around and coming back together and meeting while you are kind of organizing this plan. Once the breather ends, all this begins, and this will be our next like chunk of the game, or it's like our next like chapter, you'll call it. And what we will have to kind of decide during it is like what other things are going on during this point, because there will be other things that are like you said, balls and potentially other jobs or anything else you want to get up to during this time. It doesn't have to be all about this job, but this is what we're going to be planning to execute in a month's time. Okay. All
Because I also
right,
have
then.
dating to be doing, so
Very important, high priority.
Yeah, personal goals, like your own destinies, everything that y'all have for your personal characters.
I can just get
I still
Oliver
wanna do
Venture
those,
to
so.
like me enough. He'll just give me the ATM.
Plan B, marry Oliver Venture.
I'm not
Checks out.
saying it's not going to take longer than our original plan, but
I mean, for
option?
the most part, it'll be a lot easier to teach the thieving crew to be like wedding staff than it is to be mercenaries.
that I think really depends on the sort of people we are hiring.
I mean, you really would want to marry this guy?
Oh, I don't
Yes,
know. I
like
barely
one
know
time.
him. I mean, he's
Is
cute.
that- Is that like normal for you folks?
What?
Nobility to simply marry each other because of standing and resources and power? Yes.
Yeah.
It's generally
Yeah.
how it works. I'm actually getting old for this.
Very dry chuckle from ZaKeer.
Do not mention any of this in front of my uncle. I know this is probably just sort of protocol at this point, but I do not want to hear any ideas about marriage proposals from him.
If he
If
starts
this were a good
suggesting stuff.
society, I'd say, can I spend a token to have?
Have him
'Cause,
show up.
Well, not
Right
so
at
much
this
that,
moment.
but like because Hadzel is, the steward of the house, the lord of the house has probably talked with Hadzel about those sorts of things before. And like,
Oh.
we need to get my niece married off.
Find a suitable match.
I think we should find someone to marry off to me. It's always Violette. You need to find someone. Violette, we need to marry you off. Why don't we find somebody to marry to me? I'm important.
Well, when another newer, smaller house moves into Luthadel, then perhaps we will be in that position. But for now, we are, I believe the term is the new kids on the block.
That's fun. I like that.
You're taking suggestions. There is a semi-eligible bachelor currently looks over his shoulder in the West Wing with
No.
50 robes.
No. Oh no. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I cannot
Mark
tell
it
if you are
down.
joking or not, and I don't want to know.
Well, mark it down that I did not. Well, you can't say that I did not try to raise my lord's standings.
Have you fulfilled your contract?
If I had, I would probably want to renegotiate.
Okay. So I want to start, at least for the rest of today, is getting going on some of these first couple of steps and seeing how y'all want to deal with them. Unless there's anything else during your breather that y'all wanted to do over this week.
Nope.
Morgan looked like she was thinking very hard about that.
I feel like there was something that I was like, oh, maybe I should do that. And now I can't remember what it was. I should write it down.
Did it have something to do with mouse? Or, with twist?
Yeah.
You do have to turn in. You
Yeah.
have to give her
That
stuff
sounds
back.
about right, actually. Because, yeah, I gotta, like, give her that stuff. That information I found and see if that fulfills our little, favor that I owe her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I was, yeah. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Thank
Okay.
you for reminding me.
You're welcome. We could do that real quick before we take our break.
Okay.
If you want to find Twist during this week to give her to potentially complete this favor that you were asked for.
Yeah. The question is, do I tell her about the key that I found, or do I keep that on
Did
the
she ask you to
DL?
get her the key?
No, she just asked me about the ledger. Yeah, because I would have told you. Yeah, I told you guys about the key and how we have a copy of it, but we don't know what it is. We're like, maybe it goes to the safe. Who knows? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna go find Twist in sort of this downtime before we start. Before I have to start like watching the canals for like a week or whatever.
Okay. So you head during this week, sort of later in the day, definitely before sun sets and the mists roll in. But late enough that some of the shops are beginning to close. You head towards the Fountain Square district, and you find Twist in her usual spot, kind of sitting on a I think leaning against a wall in an alleyway, kind of rifling through a small like notebook. As you turn the alleyway, you catch with your enhanced vision, you and kind of your very perceptive eyes, you do catch the slight shift that she clearly recognizes that you're there, though she does not immediately move to sort of respond and tries to keep a very cool disposition, as she is wont to do, and just says to you offhand as you approach, "Hey, Mouse."
Afternoon. Got a little something for you.
"So it went well then? I assume because you're here and not, in a dungeon somewhere."
I mean, it was a little close at one point. But yeah, I was able to get in there and I couldn't get you the whole thing. Because the lady of the house showed up.
Closes her notebook, tucks it in her breast pocket, and turns to face you finally and says, "Well, I'm disappointed you weren't able to get it cleanly, but let me see what you got, and I'll see if it's enough to square us even."
Alright. Helps it was in a little hidden part of her desk.
Takes it,
She really didn't want people to find it.
begins to look through the pages. "Your penmanship isn't great."
You know what? It's great. It's better than yours.
Fair. Huh. Well, kind of folds the papers up, says, "This'll do."
Swear?
Yeah. You didn't find anything else going through her stuff, did you?
She's got a cat. It's like not ready to divulge this yet to Twiz.
A cat? Okay. Not exactly what I was talking about, but sure. Nothing else though?
Nah. Just a ledger full of stuff like that.
I'm gonna have you roll.
Of course. What am I
lie.
rolling?
I think it's
Is it my
charm.
charm? Yeah, my charm is one of my best. Okay. So, I've got a 5.
Okay.
Charm.
So you can start with 5 there. So we'll build your pool. Do you have any traits that would apply?
As an informant, I probably learned how to withhold information, such as this.
Okay. I'll give that to you.
Okay.
Do you think your nervous trait might play against this though?
Probably 100% yes.
Okay, we'll call that a net
It's
0.
flat,
then, 'cause
yep.
that would take away.
That would, yeah. Does anything else apply here? Yeah, no, I think I'm got nothing
I
else.
can't think of anything else. No burdens or anything. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have 5 dice. So you'll go ahead and roll.
All right.
And Mouse will roll 2. Let me bring up her sheet.
Okay. Oh, shoot, what if Twist has like a... We'll find out, okay.
Twist. I keep saying Mouse. I mean Twist.
Oh, well, okay. Alright, I'm gonna wait to say to you.
Okay.
Roll her stuff.
So I'm bringing up informant. There we are. So she's gonna roll with wits, which is a 4, and she's got the trait well versed in scams. I think it's gonna give her a positive.
Ooh, yeah.
So that's gonna be a 5 then for her.
A 5, okay. 5 versus my 5.
Well, that's a pair of 4s and 1 nudge.
Oh no. I got a pair of 2s and 2 nudges.
Okay. So you end up with 1 nudge net gain because hers cancel yours out.
Okay.
And a failure by 2. So you fail with what
Okay.
would be 2 complications, but you can reduce that by 1, so it'll be 1 complication with it too.
Excellent. Okay.
Um,
So I figured this was gonna go. I was able to mitigate it a little bit.
yeah, not so bad. And so she looks up at you and with a very
She's like-
discerning eye, and she says, Mouse, come on. I've been doing this for a while. I know there's probably more than this there. If it's boxings or you can keep it. I don't care.
Fine. There was a key.
Key.
I don't know what it's to. Yeah, there was a key in there.
Did you take it?
I took a mold of it.
Clever. Huh. Okay. Can you get me a copy of it?
Yeah.
All right. See, it's all about trust. We don't have to keep this stuff from each other. We're friends, right? She kind of like pats you on the shoulder comfortingly.
Yeah, it's just. Yeah, we're friends.
Listen, I got a pretty big job I'm lining up. This is a part of it. You get me a copy of that key, I'll maybe cut you in on it. How about that?
Okay. All right.
Good. I'll throw you something else too. How about that? A little bit of information I picked up. Maybe you can earn something off of it.
Sounds good.
So, I was snooping around just outside the party when y'all were gallivanting around at the other night, and I heard a bit of something from one of the some drunk Yahoo walking around, talking a bit too loud. House Locale. I don't know if you're familiar with them. Apparently, there was they're trying to cover up a theft took place about 3 weeks back over at their keep. Apparently the word is that there's another thieving crew on the streets that kind of turned them over, got something pretty sweet out of the deal. So Lacal is out looking for blood right now, so definitely keep your noses clean of anything to do with them for a while. But yeah, they're not too happy about whatever was taken.
You hear anybody who was involved in that?
Nothing on my end yet. I was hoping you might know.
No. Locale, huh?
Yeah. If you hear anything about it, let me know. Might be some coin in it for whoever, happens to slide a name in front of the right person. Depends on who it is and how scummy they are, but we'll see. Yeah, free information. There you go. Call us
All right.
even. Yeah. Get me a copy of that key. We'll talk more later, all right?
All right.
And you duck out of the alleyway.
Do I know what sort of where on the totem pole Locale is?
Cal is 1, 2, 3, 5th.
Okay, so they're up there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, they are below House Tikiel, which is below House Alariel.
Okay. Interesting.
So, with that knowledge in hand, a couple more minutes. Does anybody have anything else they wanted to do during this this break, this breather?
I just have a
Violette?
small thing. Yeah, I don't know that anything will come of this. But I think Violette's been thinking about it. So I think she's been spending when they're not like planning and stuff like at night, she's been spending a lot of time like either like out on her balcony or like on the roof or things, and is like a little concerned that Cedric is gonna show up again. So I think she's been sort of just preemptively like out under the guise of like training and like running the rooftops and doing things like that. But I think also is just kind of like hanging out on her roof. Like, are you just gonna show up at my house again?
All right.
And I
think
feel
this
like
would
by
be
saying that, I've spoken the event into existence a little bit.
perhaps. Perhaps I already had something planned. Let's go ahead and roll. So this would be a wits roll as part of like. We'll just wrap this into your general kind of how you've been kind of
Sure.
keeping out doing your stuff during your thing. You can. Are we talking like burning metal? I assume if you're out at night that you're probably burning
At least
copper.
At least
Not copper.
tin.
Tin. All right. We'll
I
go
think
ahead
tin
and roll.
and probably like little bits of pewter like off and on, because pewter burns real fast. I don't know what the numbers are on that, but I know it burns fast. So probably like anytime she like hears something, or like thinks maybe somebody is approaching, probably like kicks it on just for a second.
Okay. So yeah, you can go ahead and we'll go ahead and build a pool there. So with your
Let me get all of my wits together, all two of them.
okay, wits plus your rating in 10,
Which is 4.
okay, so that brings you to 6. Any traits that apply?
Scroll back down. I don't think so. I don't really think I can pull Infiltrator on this. Because she's not like, I don't think she's trying to not be found.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't think Infiltrator would help as far as finding.
No. It does my provincial accent help?
You're just yodeling while you're out on the
Yes. I
trying to catch them off guard.
No, I don't think I have anything for this. I think it's just the
Okay.
just the medals and the can Violette pay attention for this length of time.
Fair.
Here I go. Wow. I got a pair of 2s and 1 nudge.
Okay. So if Obligator Cedric happened to be out there trying to avoid your presence, he's going to roll physique. And plus his allomancy rating in... I would probably... Pewter would probably be the most effective for physical control. Or copper. Either way, it's a 4. And then his trait, nimble as a cat. That's going to be 10 dice.
Of course it is.
Pair of 5s.
Oh, man.
2 nudges. So, Violette, this is what happens.
This fool could steal the mist cloak off of my back right now.
He's very sneaky. That's one of his traits. You are out in the kind of, we're going to do like more of a broad scope narrative. I imagine you're kind of like Steel pushing up onto a rooftop and then leaping kind of around the edges of the keep, doing some training, doing a bit of your training, and also like stopping occasionally and scanning out. You don't notice, currently perched on top of one of the kind of long extended like towers at the corners of the keep's walls, kind of hanging off of it, watching you, mist cloak swirling as the mists pool around, a slight smile crossing his tattooed face is Obligator Cedric. He watches, bemused. However, this night, he does not approach Violette, at least not right away, as he also, burning copper, pushes off of the wall and down to the other side of the House Laurent perimeter wall into the grounds, quickly running across the grass and then dropping a clip onto the stone walkway, pushes up to the second floor of House Laurent to an exterior balcony. As he perches on the edge, he looks in at a small light that is being cast out from a reading lamp, as Hadzel sits and, I assume, reads in the dying hours of the evening. Drops down and very quietly pushes inside. But we're gonna take a break here and come back for this interaction, or this exchange, and see what it is that Cedric is up to. And I'll just have Alex go and roll a new character. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh
no! No, we'll come back for this in a little bit. Thank you everyone for watching our first half of the session. We will take a very quick break here, and come back to play out the rest of our session, our scene, and get into some more heist preparations as our second act here of our game. Our crew gears up to rob House Venture blind. See everyone in a few minutes, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, Internet. Thanks for hanging out with us while we took our break. We're just going to jump right back in where we left off with Hadzel. Hadzel. I was imagining that Hadzel stays up a little bit even after nightfall, probably to do some writing or restore their copper mines. I don't know what Hadzel gets up to at night. If you have any thoughts what they might be doing right now.
I mean, there's probably some housekeeping, literally, as he attends to the affairs of the house. But there's also, I wish I had a better understanding of what like books in this world are, because the most we ever really get to see are the political philosophies that Ellen reads in the first book. It's like, what else would there be books about? Because I mean, Hadzel is always looking for new information.
It's like government approved stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine like the same books you would have in like any sort of fantasy setting, except like stuff that would delve into like more like religious texts or political texts would be more censored. But yeah, I think most of the subject of the novels is in some of the censored texts. But I mean, really, like there are probably like fiction authors and writers and stuff. You know, people that write a little bit of light romance, and but probably just other like academic writings, texts, things like that. Anything that I don't think would delve too much into like philosophy or that would subvert the teachings of the church would be fine and available to read.
Sure. Just suddenly reminded of a game where it's almost a minor plot point that literature doesn't really exist, and so when it shows up, people are like, "What the fuck is literature?" Like we have almanacs and informational books, but what is this? What is this literature?
I don't want to live in a world where literature doesn't exist. You want to you want Hadzel to read smut at night? Hadzel can read smut at night.
Hey, you said it, not me.
How to Train Your Mistwraith.
And just so we're clear, don't tweet at me. Smut is literature.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Anyway,
You read those
Hadzel's
romance
reading
novels.
Yeah. So you find Hadzel reading something that may or may not be smut. The world will never know.
And so is fan fiction.
The as you are reading whatever it is that Hadzel might be reading this late, maybe growing a bit tired in the evening hours. I imagine Hadzel's probably aware that Violette is out in the mists, scampering about, doing her thing. You hear a slight creak to the window behind you. A light footfall upon on the carpeted wooden floor. However, before you're able to turn around, you hear an unfamiliar voice, or at least not the voice that you'd expect. Hadzel, right?
Calmly closes the book, sets it neatly on the desk, and I suppose we'd probably stand up and turn because I don't think these are chairs that would swivel well.
Probably not.
But so we'll stand and face the newcomer.
And you see currently like closing the door to the or the window to the balcony behind them, as some of the mists have trailed in, cut off, and kind of disperse in the lit room. Lowering the hood of their mist cloak, you see Cedric has a very currently not carrying any weapons, trying to seem as disarming as possible. Says, "I hope I didn't disturb you."
Applicator Cedric. No, I was still dealing with some matters of business at this hour. This is rather unorthodox, but what can I assist you with this evening?
Well, I'm fairly unorthodox myself. I didn't want to draw attention to speaking to you in a formal capacity, given your proclivities. Might bring the wrong attention on you.
That is considerate of you.
I wanted a chance to speak. I was able to speak with your lady at the ball. However, as I said before, it would have been fairly conspicuous for us to speak privately at that event, or publicly for that matter.
Indeed. I gather you have certain topics you wish to discuss.
Yes. Certainly. Straight to business then. I don't wish to keep you up. I wanted to discuss terrorist philosophy with you, actually.
Hadzel is clearly a little surprised by this. I am by no means a practiced philosopher, but what I know, I am happy to discuss.
He moves pretty quietly across the floor, taking up a comfortable distance away from you, leaning up against the wall, arms crossed. He says, "Well, I imagine that you hold more knowledge than most would. It's a subject that isn't, well, widely available. And I can't think of somebody better to discuss the topic with than a Terrace ferrochemist."
No reaction. Well, I will do my best to fill in whatever gaps of knowledge you have, though, as I have said, I am not the best suited to this topic.
Well, perhaps engage me in a hypothetical question then, and the best that you can offer. I find myself with a lack of Terrace academics to speak with. Your people hold a very interesting position within the Final Empire. Interesting being a delicate word for it.
Extremely.
The Ska have their place, of course, and suffer the brutalities that they do because of it. But I've always found the treatment of the Terrace to be ironic. Holding such a high place of, some might say privilege, though I'm sure that you don't see it that way, amongst the nobility, serving them directly, being kept close. Yet, I would imagine you would see yourself in your situation and the way that your people are treated to perhaps in many regards be more strict, controlling, and brutal than that of the Ska.
In certain respects, certainly. Brutality, perhaps not so much, for which I am thankful, though of course I do not wish that the Ska were treated as such.
Of course.
You are accurate in that it is an interesting position that Terrace men hold. It is a position that, with previous masters, has been enlightening, and there have also been those who simply see us as perhaps another piece of furniture to show off to their house guests.
My question to you would be, in Terrace teachings, philosophy, religion, even, is there any, how do I put this delicately? Why do you think it is that the Terrace hold this position without taking advantage of it? Are the Terrace as docile and subjugated with all semblance of hostility and aggression bred out of them as the Lord Ruler, as the Church might teach? Or is there another reason for it? For this docile acceptance of their place?
I'm surprised they do not teach you these things in your training to become an obligator. As you mentioned, several of those traits are quite literally bred out of the populace, and any terrorists who previously showed signs of resistance were swiftly eliminated from the picture.
I suppose what I'm getting to then is, do you believe it possible to breed rebellion out of a person?
I think that is certainly what the Lord Ruler believes.
What do you believe?
Think perhaps that in attempting to remove certain aspects, traits, what have you, whatever word you wish to choose, something will need to take its place. Despite the best efforts, the terrorists are not meant to be entirely blank slates. That would, from the view of nobility, make us no different from the ska that they use and abuse. And so, if some traits are bred out, other traits may take root and fill in those gaps.
So, if given the opportunity, do you believe your people would rebel? And I want to pose something here too. I know that Hadzel is being very guarded at this point. I can't imagine any reality where Hadzel trusts Cedric with the truthful answer right now. So I do think that Cedric is going to attempt to use some emotional allomancy to maybe get a little bit more of the truth out of this situation. So Cedric will roll charm. Again, this is emotional allomancy isn't necessarily a compulsion to say something. It's emotional manipulation that might get some more, might make you more interested in divulging more information. So we'll see how this plays out, and then we respond accordingly. So he's going to roll charm. I would say you'd be defending with probably wits.
Okay. I'm just quickly checking my zinc, which is my mental speed. Because it does say I can add one die with charm and wits rolls, demanding a quick mental response. But I don't know that it is explicitly meant for like counteracting emotional allomancy.
I think that might be fair. I mean, it might be one way to counteract it, give yourself more time to think and process like the emotional manipulation. I would allow that.
Yeah. Okay.
I wouldn't want to say that fair chemists wouldn't have any way of dealing with emotional allomancy.
Sure. Let's see. I think I only have a 3 in it. Yes. Okay. So then 4 wits, 3 from zinc. I'm looking at some of my traits to see if they would help here.
Okay.
I mean, one is that I'm a terrace steward, but that is kind of the whole reason this is happening to begin with. So I don't know that it's necessarily a trait that I can pull on here.
I mean, considering this question is going straight towards your background being Terrace and the secrets of your people, and I would allow that to apply.
Okay, so that brings me up to 8. And now, I know this is kind of contested. Is this one of those ones where I would want to hold on to some to defend later, or is this?
No. This is more of a direct contest, not a conflict.
Okay.
He has a charm of 6 and a brass rating of 7, and gets an additional brass rating to soothe suspicion, which brings his brass rating to an 8. So that'll be a total of 10 dice and 4 nudges that he gets off of this. This is his bread and butter, specifically.
Gotcha. Well, let's hope I roll well then, with my pool of 8. Okay, pair of 5s and a nudge.
He has a pair of 4s and 2 nudges. So you succeed in the roll. However, he does have 1, 2, 6 nudges on top of it. So what I'll say is you are with the success, with the mental processing, you are aware of the emotional manipulation and the power of the effect. With the 6 nudges, I'm not going to sit here and try to spend what each of the -1 equals 5 nudges. I'm not going to sit here and try to expend what the nudges are for, but you do feel, and this might go to your benefit too.
Mm-hmm.
You've felt emotional allomancy before. This is strong. This is like you feel your suspicion just like washing away. You have this overwhelming urge to sort of to trust him. But with your success on the roll, you're aware of the emotional allomancy enough that it won't influence your response.
Sure. Obligator Cedric, honestly, I do not think that my people would be capable of rebellion. I do think, given the right set of circumstances, that my people might be well suited to step up. But I think that would, to start with, the Lord Ruler would have to no longer be in the picture, and as he is God himself, I do not see that ever happening.
So you believe in the Lord Ruler's divinity, then?
I believe he has positioned himself as such, and for all intents and purposes, to the final empire, yes, he is God.
Well, I can't say I'm not disappointed in the response, but it does leave me much to think about. Perhaps we'll speak more on it another time. I believe I might have caught the attention of your Mistborn. I wish for you to consider what I have brought to you, and perhaps even what I'm assuming that your compatriot, your lady, has told you that we spoke of the prior evening. I believe there is a place for the terrace in the Final Empire that they are being sorely underutilized for. But more on that another time. Perhaps if you have the opportunity and the capability, speaking with other terrace philosophers that might know more on the subject than you. I've read some interesting, very heavily censored documents kept by the church on a certain subset of the terrace society referred to as keepers. I know perhaps you would know much about that. He says as he turns back to the window, opens it up, and perches back onto the balcony. So unless Hadzel has any last parting remarks, he will leave.
Alex burns zinc to get more time to think of parting response.
Unfortunately, I cannot give you powers.
Yeah.
You have not developed enough advancements to take that.
Yeah. I think he just says, you should say hello to Mistress Violette on the way out. I'm sure she would be tickled to see you in passing.
Perhaps I will. And you hear a clink of a clip on the ground, on the stone of the balcony, as he then launches himself into the night. Violette, as you have been scanning the evening, I don't know how often, because we talked about it over the break, I don't know how much Violette actually burns brass bronze. To sense allomancy.
I think she forgets about it. I think that's the one she forgets about.
But maybe in a moment of being like, oh, let me see if there's any allomancy nearby.
That would be smart.
You felt a very powerful surge of emotional allomancy coming from from your home, from your estate. And you turn just in time to see a mist-cloaked figure step out onto Hadzel's balcony and launch themselves out into the night. Kind of moving, maybe not directly towards you, but in a sort of parallel direction to you. What do you do?
I think I'm gonna follow him.
Okay.
Keep yourselves muted if you're gonna yell at me.
I love the reaction of, just saw this potential assassin coming out of Hadzel's room. Not going to check on Hadzel. Am going to follow the assassin.
If Hadzel's dead, he's not getting any deader.
I love this. No, this seems
Would
totally
love to
Violette.
know instead who did it.
No, this seems
Just
totally
saying.
Violette. So you're going to attempt to pursue. We're going to do a little bit of a contest then to see if you can
Cool.
keep up with
Can't wait to roll bad again.
with them. He's not as good at this as he is with the his other abilities. Okay, so
I would hope
This
Hadzel
is-
would understand that I did it because I want to catch this fool.
all right, this is going to be a contest then between the two of you.
Gites.
To chase, I think. I mean, there are a couple of metals you could use to try to pursue: steel pushing, iron pulling, or pewter burning.
Makes me run faster.
Yeah,
well.
any of those I think would be appropriate. I don't know if any of those ratings are different or if those are all the same.
No,
for you.
those are all the same. So I think it's probably just like a combination of running very fast along rooftops and then sort of pulling and pushing to get across the gaps.
Okay. I think this is going to be physique, though, is your base attribute that
Okay.
this is building off of. which he's going to do the same, and then he is also going to roll pewter, which is so he has 5 in physique and 4 in pewter.
Well, fine then. Be good at everything. I don't care. I have 3 in physique and 4 in those metals.
Okay.
So 7. I don't have any
Traits that apply.
traits. Yeah, I was gonna say aspects. I don't have any traits for this.
Okay. I don't know if any circumstances would help here. Or
Been waiting
tools.
on him. Been waiting on him, ready to go.
That's true. That'd be one favorable condition. Can you think of another favorable condition? Because you need 2 in order to gain an extra die.
I did tell him to say hello to her, and I don't know if that affected his like
Actually-
trajectory course leaving.
Yeah, I think
Since he
what
knows
I'm
I'm
gonna
out
give this,
here.
Yeah, he does know you're out here, and I think the circumstance here is that he also kind of does want you to catch up. Maybe that's going in your favor.
We have like a Black Cat Spider-Man scenario going on.
Yes, that's essentially what this is. Spider-Man
But
2.
is he
is-
Black Cat or is Violette
Yes,
Black Cat?
he's Black
No.
Cat and I'm Spider-Man.
and he's leaping from rooftop to rooftop, and you keep running into light posts as you're
Fuck,
swinging
God,
after
dick,
him.
this fuck. I should have just put it on the auto swing. I don't know why I didn't. This joke is funny
Alright.
to nobody that doesn't live in my house. This past week, I got our PS2 working again.
All right, let's go in a roll. So you get an additional die too. So does that put you at 8
additional-
dice?
That was me at 8.
Okay, he has 9 dice. So
Fine then.
it's a pretty even roll. I'm just saying it's a pretty even roll.
Fine.
He's very
Cool. Great.
very
He's good at
accomplished.
everything. Okay. We get it.
He is a
Okay.
Mistborn.
Yeah, we get it. He's better than me.
Well, he rolled a pair of 3s.
Ha! Rolled a pair of 5s.
Nice.
And nothing
Okay, you rolled a
else.
pair
And
of-
a whole bunch of 1s as well.
He rolled a pair of 3s and like a million nudges. But
I rolled
the
4
pair of
1s, a 2, and 2 5s.
You do succeed though. So in kind of like describing this chase, the two of you racing out over the rooftops, beginning to kind of like doing a combination of running across across roofs using your pewter enhanced muscles to bound over alleyways, sliding down the slanting roof tiles, and then pushing off of a drain pipe in order to launch yourself into the night. I think there's a few moments where maybe like just kind of playfully like pushing a handful of coins back in your direction to throw off your trajectory. And you pushing off of those. However, you navigate yourself very skillfully. Is there something that you can think of that you do to finally like catch up with him?
I think the thing about it is that for Violette, I think it's very simple. Like, I think, because there's a lot of, like, I just think she's very Assassin's Creed. Like, I think it's a lot of running and a lot of, like, running, jumping, climbing, and then, like, pushing when she needs to. But I think, like, she's pretty simple. I think it just comes down to, like, she probably runs faster than him. And so
Okay.
sort of places herself on, like, the long rooftops where she can just, like, because she's not big, she doesn't have a lot of weight to carry or anything, so, like, I think she just does an Assassin's Creed.
So she doesn't get very clever. It's very like straightforward and
No,
simple in
yeah,
how she moves.
I think she's able to, like, you know, push off the coins and, like, do, like, sort of, like, counter everything he throws at her, but I don't think she, like, in response gets very clever with him. Like, I think she just goes and catches him because he's trying to
Okay.
be too smart.
I
And
think
she
at
just,
one
I think
point,
she just runs a lot.
I think
does a lot of cardio.
at the end of this exchange, the two of you hit a section where he's sort of relying a lot on steel pushing for his movement. Seems to be very proficient in steel pushing. It might be the other aspect. He has a 7 in, but he's very good at it and keeps and is sort of continuing to thwart and move ahead of you through the combined use of that, but is also relying a lot on pewter kind of matching what you're trying to do to prove like who might be better with pewter burning, and eventually I think catches a roof tile which slips underneath him, causing him to sort of tumble downwards, eventually catching himself in the air by pushing off a couple of door hinges, and kind of holding himself there, kind of floating and sort of spinning through the air for a bit. You finally perch on the on the ledge above him as he finally reorients himself to look up at you, smiling, sweating slightly, and gives a sigh as he pushes himself up the remainder of the way, landing gently on the rooftop next to you. Slightly out of breath, but no more so than yourself, and says, "Well, you're very bullish when it comes to your pursuit. That wasn't the most creative use of allomancy I've ever seen, but it certainly got the job done."
Winning is winning? I think you are too clever for your own good.
I've been told as such. How can I help you, Violette?
Well, last time you tried to break into my house, we fought. I thought this time, since you were successful, maybe we should talk about it.
Certainly. Kind of moves up to the edge of the roofs, away from the edge of the roof, perching at the like on the railing, and then moving over into like the flat kind of upper space of the rooftop, where there's a hatch that leads down into the building below, but private, only the mist swirling around you. Says, "What was it you wanted to discuss then?"
Is it safe for me to assume you did not kill my steward?
Very.
Good.
We had a very enlightening conversation.
About?
Terra's philosophy.
For a Mistborn with a tattoo-covered face, you are incredibly boring.
Well, you'll find any excitement is usually trained out of obligators. We're a very stuffy lot.
Oh, yes. That seems to be the case. With you running across my roof, destroying some of my roof tiles. I expect those to be replaced.
Looks down and says, "Well, you'll find I'm very light of coin these days."
Well, yes. You seem to enjoy throwing them at me.
You may send the expenses to my office. I'll simply have to explain to my superiors why I am responsible for the expense. I'm sure that'll go well. And I'll likely be imprisoned.
Well, they also train humor out of obligators, I see.
They've attempted.
If you wish to speak with someone in my household, go through me.
I thought I did. You should keep a better eye out. Maybe try using more of your abilities. I find... I can't... Hold on, this is Val not remembering the one. Okay. I find bronze to be very helpful for that sort of thing. Keeping out allomancers and such.
And I assume you showed up burning copper anyway.
Perhaps. Perhaps I didn't, just to see if you were looking.
Why are you here?
I thought I already said. I wanted to speak with your terraceman.
And why did you feel the need to sneak in so his balcony, not simply call on my house?
As I explained to him, I felt that my position as an obligator might cause some unfortunate or misplaced speculation that you wouldn't want around your house.
As if
Given
there
the
is
abilities.
not enough of that already.
Yes, you haven't really maintained a low profile since coming into the city.
I have nothing to do with that. Blame my uncle, who is apparently telling everyone within earshot a lot of things about our family.
I did hear about that. The man seems to be a
You
liability.
and everyone in this dominance and the next, I think.
Perhaps you should do something about that.
Oh, and what would you have me do?
I hear assassination is in season.
I think that's too good for him.
Maybe a retirement to the countryside, then.
Good luck with that one. He only just arrived here.
If you need my assistance, perhaps some incentives from the High Prelin might go a long way. You simply have to ask for my help.
I don't need your help.
Or you simply haven't acknowledged it yet.
Do you think I cannot handle my own home?
I suppose I haven't been observing you long enough to know.
Well, color me insulted then.
It is another one of my gifts.
Very popular with the ladies you are, I imagine.
Annoyingly so. Is there any other business you wish to discuss? I must be returning before somebody wonders where I've snuck off to.
If you're going to continue sneaking into my house, warn me first.
Fine. I suppose it would be only fair for me to provide you with a small advantage next time I attempt to sneak in. And he smiles, takes a step back, and sort of falls backwards off of the edge of the building before then shooting up into the night and pushing himself away.
I caught you on my own talent, you prick.
I assume you go to return to your skulking.
Why go peek in, make sure Hadzel's still alive?
Okay.
I don't think Hadzel's the kind who would pretend to be in danger.
Tears are coming, pretends to be dead.
Yeah.
As a lesson.
So he could store warmth so that he would be very cold to the touch.
That's mean.
Yeah.
ZaKeer standing over him, partially misread.
So I do think actually perhaps in the time that Violette has been gone, assuming the others are in the house, Hadzel would have gotten Mouse and ZaKeer to be like, hey, by the way, he showed up.
So maybe the three of them
Good
are
way.
talking in Hadzel's
Yeah.
chambers.
Starts to peek. Just gonna stop and listen.
Black, you just want to talk?
Yes, well, I'm now somewhat more convinced he does not mean to turn me in immediately. It seems like he wants something from me or my people, but he's certainly showing that he has the power to come in,
Yeah.
that he has the power in the situation.
Oh shit, Master Sasha, hold on.
Just you reach Sasha's chambers and you just hear.
Yep, not that part. Walks back. He's fine.
We should probably go tell Lady Violette, right?
Once she's back from patrol, we'll update her.
You just want to talk. That's. I don't get nobles.
He also mentioned that he and Mistress Violette spoke about something. He seemed to believe that she told us about that exchange.
Like what kind of something?
He didn't say.
I don't know how much we should trust this guy, though.
No, not at all. But he is also the most powerful emotional allomancer I've ever met.
ZaKeer visibly grimaces. Do not like that at all for us.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're not dead, I guess.
Me as well, though. If they come for me, I don't imagine it's going to be a simple execution.
No, it wouldn't be. Longest sigh.
If they are going to come for you, it will be with Steel Inquisitors. No amount of preparation, defense will stop that from happening.
Indeed.
So maybe do your reading somewhere in the Undercroft. Gives you a small fighting chance.
The smallest. I would not be surprised if those creatures were not stopped at all by few stone walls.
Honey, they don't use doors. Right.
No.
Should I go change and go find Lady Violette?
Yeah, we should go find her or something.
Yes, we should make sure that I don't believe that Cedric intended violence, but perhaps the mistress started something.
Goes to window and starts burning tin to see if she can see Violette anywhere. Maybe she's outside.
I guess let's roll. Unless Violette just makes herself known.
I
we
was
can
gonna
have
make
a-
myself known once the conversation died down.
Okay.
Just gonna very conveniently pull up onto the
casually.
balcony.
like I said, maybe she's just right outside.
Sally. Hadzel, are you still
Uh,
alive?
Yes, thank you.
Oh, good. I saw someone leaving your quarters via the balcony and thought, if you were dead, I could not help you, so I gave chase instead.
But what if the assassin had botched the job and I was in here bleeding out and could have been saved?
Well, that was a choice I had to make. But you're fine.
Might I request you acquire me some gold for the future?
Yes. Okay.
what are you gonna do with the gold?
Is that in character or out of character?
No, I was in character. She doesn't know what gold does. It's just like, what is that useful for?
So, are you just receiving visitors you don't want me to know about? Or are these exceptionally bad assassins?
Well, Obligator Cedric paid a visit. He wished to discuss Terra's philosophy. He also seemed to be under the impression that you had shared the contents of your discussion with him at the Venture Ball.
I certainly gave you the high points. Being he knows who and what you are, and that he is not going to disclose this.
Yes, but that part of the conversation, it seemed like he expected me to be aware of the finer points of his nuance, and so he had me at a loss.
Well, based on the conversation we had, I don't consider him to be especially nuanced.
Then I fear, mistress, that you are vastly underestimating him.
Yeah, I don't like the idea of putting so much trust in this guy. Like, what?
What gives
We're
you
just
the
going off of his
impression
word?
that I trust him?
I don't believe anyone is thinking you trust him, but
You're certainly not, like, suggesting that we, like, take him out or anything.
And do you think you could?
No.
My contract forbids it. That isn't to say I couldn't maim him.
if he is as powerful with the other metals as he is with emotional allomancy, I do not think any of us have a chance of inconveniencing him.
Look, Violette, it's not that big of a deal for you, but, like, his knowing what Hadzel is dangerous for him and me.
I'm well aware.
Right.
Okay. Sort of sits like casually back on the railing. What do you have me do?
I don't know, it just feels like we're putting too much reliance on the fact that he's not going to tell anybody. And you're being all weird about the details about your guys' conversation.
Okay.
I get it, like, it's probably private or whatever, but
You don't trust him. I get it. No one does. He is untrustworthy, an obligator, and sneaks around at night on rooftops, breaking into homes and doing other illicit activities, I'm sure. And how does that make him any different than most of you?
It
We're not
doesn't,
planning to
but
rob another. It's, that's not even the point. Do you trust me?
Yeah, I guess.
I wish to.
Well, make the decision for yourselves, then. No one is stopping you. But if you came to me and told me you had the situation handled, you would expect me to trust you. Because we are in this together, as they say.
Yes, that presupposes that we share information equally, and given the nature of my conversation with him, I find myself with some new concerns.
Oh, and I'm sure that I know everything there is to know about all of your interactions with everyone else. Mouses, ZaKeers.
That is not the point of this.
Mouse hides for a living, and yet you sit here and worry about my trustworthiness?
I have to hide for a living because I want to keep on living. I'm sorry if I'm gonna go. Mouse is going to leave the conversation.
It is late and I have had a rather stressful evening. So I would kindly ask that you leave my chambers, but if not, I will go find another place to sleep tonight.
I think like halfway through that sentence, Violette's just like, eh. Just sort of jumps off.
Out the window?
Yeah. Just sort of jumps back over the railing.
Sometimes, Master ZaKeer, and this being one of those times, I am grateful that your contract is technically with Master Sacha and not with Mistress Violette.
Ooh.
If it's one thing the Conjura are good for, it's following orders. This is going to pose quite a problem if we cannot get this heist off the ground before we implode at any rate. From my perspective, I'm choosing to trust all of you to do the assigned tasks. What you do in between is up to you. If you do pose a hindrance, though, well, I am sworn to protect my master's assets. Food for thought. Good night, Hadzel.
Good night, Master ZaKeer.
Leaves the room.
Okay. As the fellowship breaks, with that falling out, or slight falling out, I'd say, the evening passes, and we'll probably skip forward a little bit in time to the end of our breather, as it were. As much of a breather as this has been. As y'all get started on your plan. So I kind of want to get an idea of like where this starts off. I know that Mouse is going to initially scout the canals for information on the venture barges that are coming through. What is everybody else doing while Mouse is doing that?
ZaKeer is going into the city, looking for any thieving crews or specialized people of interest to add to the roster. In between that, probably take on a more avian form and flying out to deliver like word to Mouse or like, meals.
Okay. Violette and Hadzel, anything y'all are doing at this time, or just Violette continuing to maintain her place in noble society and Hadzel as steward of the house?
Getting ready for the next ball. Like coming up.
And I think starting to put feelers out for finding our own thieving crew for the job, but that's not as pressing because we're still in the recon phase.
Yeah, so you and ZaKeer are both doing that then, looking for crews, or looking for you're not looking for a crew, you're looking for individuals to recruit.
Have a little hiring fair.
Yeah, so probably leaving it more to ZaKeer, but yeah. Sorry, my brain is scrambled right now.
It's okay. I imagine Hadzel's dealing with a lot of like the logistics of like, payment arrangements and like where to put people, and dealing with a lot of like the behind the scenes stuff, while ZaKeer is doing some of the more like on the street, on the ground, like recruiting efforts, spreading word, things like that. Okay. So we're running low on time. I want to get started on two of those. So specifically roles from Mouse and ZaKeer for those. So
Okay.
Mouse, I think we'll do one roll for your efforts in sort of information gathering. I think that's probably going to be an attribute roll and not a standing roll, unless you're imagining Mouse more so leveraging her any like influence or resources for this. I was imagining it's more of her using her wits or charm.
Yeah, at least for now, at least for now, it's just sort of like scouting it out potentially, like what she gets out of that. Like she might try to use influence in the fact, like maybe she might like recognize some of the people working there, but don't know yet.
Okay.
But yeah, it's probably just getting the lay of the land and tracking shipments and IDing people and
maybe like posing as like a dock worker or something over
there,
like to and using her tin to listen in on conversations to overhear like which ones are the venture barges, like when are they coming in,
yeah,
common faces and stuff. Okay, yeah. So let's go and do a wits roll from Mouse. With you can use your tin for this too if you'd like to.
I would, yes, please. Okay, because I'm starting with 5, and I'm using my power. See. Does that just add a die, or how does that?
No, so you add your power rating to it.
My power rating. Oh, okay, so that puts me to 10. That puts me to 11, actually, if I use my rating.
Okay, because if you go over, you get free nudges for each one you're over 10. And then
okay, yeah, because that Yeah, because my rating right now is 6. And I
Okay.
have 5 wits, so yeah, it puts me to 11.
Okay. And do you have any traits that apply?
I mean, being street smart, like being able to sort of like blend in with like the other dock workers and
Yeah.
that. So
How about
12.
that? So 12. All right.
Jeez, it's a lot. Okay, and so those extra 2 turn into nudges. You said.
Yeah. So you get 2
Cool.
free
So I'm
nudges,
starting out
and you're
with free
gonna
nudges.
and then you're gonna roll 10 dice here.
All right.
This is not a contest. This will just be a challenge. So I don't think the difficulty of this will be very, very hard. I'm just gonna put it at like a 2.
Okay. So many dice to roll. Oh, jeez, they all fell out. Okay. That is pair of 5s, pair of 3s. Okay, and 2 6s. So actually 3
So
5s. And
pair of
2
5s and what, that 4
and
nudges total
2 more
then?
nudges, yeah.
Okay. So what I will give you then, so you do succeed in gathering information here, 3 above, so that's 3. Essentially, that gives you like 7 nudges to
Oh,
expend here, which
Ah.
I was gonna say that you could spend each nudge to like ask a question that you want an answer to, or like identify a person that you
Uh-huh.
could use as a contact. So you tell me what you want
Okay.
to spend or what you want to ask. And we can save some of it now if you want to like think on it, because like I said, we're running a little low on time. So if you wanted to
Yeah.
save those, and then we can kind of start like think about those for the next until our next session,
Mhm.
and then next session we can kind of brainstorm or come up with like whatever you want to learn from those nudges as part of your information gathering.
Okay, then yeah, I would like to hang on to that, and maybe we'll play that out next time. So you said there's 7 nudges total?
Yeah, 7 nudges. So go ahead and mark those down, and that'll be 7
Okay.
facts that you'll be able to learn about the barges and the routes here to help you
Okay.
next time. It's
That in
a
my
lot.
notes. Yeah. All right.
More than I expected. So I'll have my
Turns out I'm good at my job.
I'll have a list of NPC names and stuff for next
Yeah,
time.
there you go. All right.
Okay, that's great. So let's then we'll finish. So we've got that. That's
Mhm.
started. We'll wrap that up next time. Let's go ahead and do ZaKeer's too. So ZaKeer, yours is more of like some more like persuasion, like rubbing elbows, maybe using your influence for this, or how are you envisioning this?
Ooh. Because if anything, he's just gonna go to his contact in the tailor shop and ask around.
Okay.
So a lucky break.
Okay. So you're gonna use your spirit?
Yeah.
All right. Need to pull up these rules. Forgot what page I said they were on. Chapter 11. Okay. Catch me a lucky break. All right. So character may attempt a spirit challenge to add or modify a crucial detail about the current situation. Difficulties based on the details' impact on the conversation and plausibility and context. So this would be good, like creating a circumstance that
Right.
that you could use, and then again, y'all can decide next time how you want to leverage like getting new people. Because we talked before about making it a resource role to like hire a thieving crew. This sets you up for like who we'll go to for that. So there's a chart on 251 of like how plausible this is. So I guess you tell me what it is that you are looking, what the break is here, like what the story element you want to insert here is, and I will decide how likely it is that or plausible it would be for that to occur, and then we'll do a spirit roll based on that.
Adobe Reader keeps crashing, so I cannot.
That's fine. I've got the chart up here,
Okay.
so you just tell me what it is that you want to happen.
Well, honestly, I want the contact to be able to give me a list of names who would fit the role for this job.
Okay.
They don't have to be like predisposed to like, yeah, we'll do this, but like,
okay. So that makes it a little more reasonable. So that your contact has like a group of people that are potentially looking for work right now. Okay. I would say that's reasonable as far as the plausibility here. So that would put it at a 2.
I'm just gonna roll straight spirit.
Okay.
2s. Oh, 4s,
twos?
actually.
Pair force.
4s.
All right. Nice. So, yeah, you go to your contact. Did we give this person a name last time? I don't think I have a name.
Unless, or however we decided to pronounce it.
Right. Unless the Condra seamstress Taylor.
It's a capital UN, capital L-E-Z.
Unless. Okay. So do you go to Unless and get this list of names? Oh, this is a good idea. So you go to the tailor shop and maybe you've made the arrangements beforehand. You see Unless in her and there's like simple kind of ska like attire as part of their persona, and kind of leads you back into the shop and hands you a folded piece of parchment. It says, "These are the ones that I was able to put together for you."
Much obliged.
Yeah, I'm not going to ask too much about what this is for.
It's for the contract, my dear.
I hope so. There was somebody looking for you, actually. I think they knew you were going to be here today.
Myself in particular, or my guys?
They asked for you by name.
Do you know
They're
who
out
it
back.
is?
No one I've met before.
All right. Well, I'll come back to you if I need anything.
Right.
ZaKeer heads to the back of the shop? Out back.
Yeah, out the back of the shop into the alleyway. And you emerge into the alleyway, and it is currently empty. There's there's a few like sacks in the back of some of like the clippings from like the tailor supplies, some of like the trash and stuff that's just been kind of thrown back here into some like piled up linen sacks. There's a small like dust choked puddle in the alleyway off to the right, and a small like rat goes scurrying across. And as you're looking for the contact, coming from around the these sacks, and then kind of leaping up on top of them, is a cat. And this cat speaks to you. Hello, ZaKeer.
Who do I have the pleasure of addressing?
The cat sort of tilts their head to the side. Honor fed, brother.
Excuse me for not realizing you are not in your true body, and I was not made aware that you were doing this.
Well, we do what we can in service of the contract, yes?
Agreed.
I've been meaning to speak with you. I was aware that you were attending the Venture Ball last week.
What gave me away?
You've never been good enough for this work, ZaKeer. Lying doesn't suit you.
I think I do just fine where I am.
Fine isn't good enough for the contract.
What is it you want?
those that you have associated yourselves with, I believe that they are infringing on my territory. And I wish to provide you with a formal warning. I will not allow my contract to be broken for your sake.
Well, we are at odds then, because as my contract calls, they need to do what they need to do.
Then I will advise that you be very careful with your next step, brother.
Your warning has been filed. Have a good day.
They sort of recompose themselves from there to their cat persona, catsona, if you will, and leap down off of the sack of linens and go sprinting down the alleyway.
As they do this, there is a sigh and a pinch of the bridge of his nose. Complicated is not the word I would use. All right. He will return back to the keep.
All right. ZaKeer heads back to the keep as your plan, with some small hiccups, begins to form. That's where we're going to end our session for tonight. Lots of intrigue, drama, secrets.
Drama.
Exciting stuff. Good session, everyone.
Yee.
Let's go ahead and get y'all some advancements.
Yeah.
All right. Gonna go through these real quick. Do we complete a scheme or achieve a personal goal? I don't think we complete a scheme today. I don't know if
No.
anyone's goals were met. It's part of the drama today. No.
No.
Make a critical choice at a turning point in the game. I don't think so. Revealing a powerful secret.
Maybe for Hadzel, even though he was trying to be guarded about it.
Like the fact that
Yeah.
Hadzel's a keeper.
Or like
Or-
the stuff he was saying about the terrorist
Yeah.
philosophy
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff.
I think Hadzel did get into some stuff at the end of that conversation, which was
Yeah.
under any other circumstances would have gotten them in a lot of hot water. So yeah, I love that. I don't know if anyone else necessarily revealed anything super well. Mouse did
The
tell
key.
Twist about the key.
I did.
That was fairly powerful in that moment.
Yeah. I hope that doesn't bite me in the butt later. It's fine.
So I'll count that too.
Okay.
Defeating a central villain. I don't think any villains were defeated today. Fulfilling your character's destiny. I don't think anyone did that. Overcoming a tragedy. Nobody had any burdens. Achieving something that's vital to the story of the crew's survival. You made the plan today. I
Mhm.
don't know if we would count anything that happened as like achieving a step on that plan, whether you would get points for that. But as we get into the actual execution of the plan, I think those will count for it. So
Yeah,
staying in character, everybody did that. And selflessly improving the quality of the game for everyone. Everyone did that. So everyone at least gets those two. Plus any of the others you had. So not as many today, but we also, today was a breather. Not as much action. So we'll get into more stuff next time. Need to introduce more villains for y'all to defeat. Give y'all more burdens to grapple with.
Yeah. Okay.
We need more things punching y'all. So we'll do that next time. Punching you emotionally and physically.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll get into those, especially as this new plot and scheme develops. Good session, everyone. Anyone have any parting thoughts or anything they want to plug before we get going? No. Okay. So that's gonna be it for us. I didn't say this at the beginning, but I'll go and say it now. Obviously, as you noticed, Ryan has not been here for the past couple of sessions. Unfortunately, Ryan had to step away from the game due to personal life commitments. So he will not be joining us for the foreseeable future, but we're hoping we can get him back eventually. So that means Sasha is going to be remaining sort of in the background as a NPC to sort of assist where needed. Member of the crew still, but moving to a NPC role rather than a central character role. I wanted to give that announcement now because he hasn't been here for a couple weeks. I forgot to say it last week. I forgot to say it at the beginning of this session, and I didn't want anybody being
You
like,
got
"Where the
to
fuck
it."
is-" I know, where the fuck is Ryan at? But that's that's where he is. We miss him, and we will try to carry on stealing all the robes in Luthadel without him.
It's my new destiny.
Yeah, everyone needs to add another piece to their destiny, which is to steal robes for Sasha. We will be back in 2 weeks for our next session and more crime. Join us in the meantime tomorrow for the next installment of Thursday's Children for our finale, most likely, at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. And join us throughout the week for Monday for our premiere of The Forgotten, Tuesday for Tabletop Tuesdays, and Thursday for Elegant Magics, Friday for Neon Souls. And that's all I've got. Click all the buttons, subscribe all the places, follow us, all that good stuff. Thank you to my lovely players for being awesome and making this game a joy to run. Thank you to everyone out there in the chat for entertaining us and making us laugh and participating in whatever way you can. We will see everyone back here in 2 weeks. And until next time, good game and good night, Internet.